Hello my lovelies. Right, today I'm going to go through some common mistakes. I get asked a lot of questions about ombre nails. It seems to be an incredibly popular topic, and especially gel ombre. It's like an enigma. And there's loads of things that can go wrong, but the two most common things I tend to get messaged about is either the ombre itself not being very good, like the mix, the blend not being very good, and losing shape of the nail because of doing an ombre with gel. So we're talking about gel polish in this instance, and I'm going to show you some really simple things you can do, especially in a salon situation, where you can either cover those mistakes so your client will not know. I'll show you as well some of the ways to prevent those mistakes. But sometimes they just happen, especially if you're in a salon situation, you're rushing, and then suddenly you think, oh God, that's not how I want it to look, and I don't have time to rectify this. I've got another client coming in. What can you do? So I am going to be ombreing using Eggnog Latte, which is not a traditional nude colour. It's more on the neutral side, which makes ombreing a little bit more tricky. And I'm going to use Russian Blue, which is a soft blue, but as you can see, they're not exactly close. So, the reason I've got this hand covered is because I'm in the middle of removing my nails after having an injury, and they don't look very nice. And I've been a bit poorly, so I haven't been able to take them off yet, but I wanted to get this filmed for you guys because I've had so many questions about ombres, and I've got some really quick, simple hacks. So let's get to it. So I'm going to first ombre these, and straight away, to help prevent losing shape. So to help prevent losing the shape of the nail, because what can often happen is as you apply your product and ombre it, it will start to get a bit wide and a bit bumpy here. To help prevent that, you just need to not work too thick, and you need to pay attention to the sides. So I'll give you a quick run through here. I've got something on my glove. So we're going to apply Eggnog at the cuticle. This is quite a big tip because I wanted to show you. So I'm taking my product up, I'm kind of pillowing it up at the cuticle. Pillow it up, pillow it up. And don't think you need to do like a line like that and bring it all down to that line exactly. Make it a little bit all over the place, yeah? So it's not kind of bang on perfect. Because if you create a harsh line, it'll be harder to blend it. Let's just open this Russian Blue. And then, so you can ombre with sponges, and that's how I used to do it. Now I've got an ombre brush. I like that method now. So I'm going to apply it, obviously deeper product at the tip. I can see a little hair. I hate them. I hate them. My lint-free wipes, I don't know, they seem to have these little things in them. So we're applying it, applying it, applying it. Now, if I keep it like that, we've got a problem because there's not enough product here to blend. It's not going to go anywhere, is it? So I'm then going to turn my brush, make sure it's not too full of product. And I'm going to start bringing it up. Yes, I've gone over the cream, doesn't matter. If there's contamination on there, just take a lint-free wipe. If I can pick one up, because my thumb is not playing ball, and then just pull it off there. All clean, all done, lovely. Right. So there's a bit more product in the middle, but it's not super thick. It's not running out the edges. I'm going to take an ombre brush. These are quite good because you see where they've got all the different thicknesses and lengths and kind of wishy-washy bits. I've got a bit of glitter in there. It's really good, and all you do is I don't do it this way. I go side to side, up and down, side to side. And I don't sort of drag like that. As you can see, that's not very good. I flick it, flick, 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 flick. Flick it, flick it, very lightweight movements. Now for the purpose of this video, I'm not actually going to blend it particularly well. I'm going to leave it a bit unfinished to show you how we can cover that and make it look not too bad. So I'm actually going to leave that blend there. It's a bit wishy-washy. I'll cure that quickly. And a quick tip before curing, if you've got gloves on, so you could take your glove. I can hear the dog coming in. You being nosy? Are you? You can take your glove and you can just, and you'll be surprised what you get. You're not wiping it off the nail, but you're stopping it coming down the edge. That's going in the lamp for a cure. Do make sure you clean your brush as well. I'm using a lint-free wipe. I'm just going to wrap it around the brush and then pull and then pull. Let's give it a little bit of a tidy up. It's a bit groggy. And then you can just take a dry one, drop the brush, no don't, and just kind of dry off the bristles on a dry one. They'll be good by the time your nail's cured. There we are, all fluffy again. So that's cured. Do you know what? That actually would make quite a nice beach scene, those two colours. But I am going to do a second layer. And again, I'm going to make it, I'm not going to completely blend it. For the sake of the video, I'm going to make it kind of wishy-washy and not particularly well blended, because this can happen really easily, especially if you're blending difficult colours. I actually thought these would be harder to blend because I've not tried these two colours yet, but they're actually a bit easier than I thought. So never mind. I thought I'll pick something a bit difficult for the sake of the video, and yeah, they work quite well. Again, in with the blue at the tip. Don't need to go very thick on this now because it's got more product there already from last time, but we do need to pull that product up and have a bit more coming up through here. There we are, a bit more in there. Clean off my brush, drop my brush. This is my hand so bad. Oh dear, for those of you that don't know, I'm waiting for my steroid injections on my thumb, because I have a bad thumb. It tends to drop things. Right, so I'm going to go flick flick again and just blend these in. I've taken it up a bit higher this time, and I've made it a little bit kind of inconsistent, and just clean off my brush every now and again. Give it another wishy-washy. Okay, so I think we'll kind of leave it there. We'll let the gel settle for a second because at the moment it's a bit ridgy. Again, I'll wipe down the sides. There we are. Now, I'm going to give that a full cure, and I can see the lines, I can see where it's not properly blended. So, you know, this is what it would look like if it's not properly blended. And I will show you a really easy way to sort this out. So let's cure this. So we've got our nail cured. Now, in an instant like this, where it's really not blended at all well, and it's kind of smudgy and just not particularly good, I would recommend sugaring a clear, fine glitter over the top, because if the glitter is a clear, fine glitter, then it will still pick up the colours underneath, but it will smudge out the inconsistencies. So I'm going to use Frosty Morning, and this is available on my website. I'm just going to simply get a little triangle tray. You don't need to, you could just pop a piece of paper under your client's hand and pour away and then pour that back in. I'm just going to take a no wipe top coat, and I'm going to apply that as I normally would. Not too thick, you know, don't need to be any different. Don't bulk it out at the sides. Cap the edges as you would. Going to pop that in there. Take the clear glitter. Now, although it's technically a clear glitter, it still has its own iridescent glow. But because of its clarity, it will mirror the colours that it's on top of. And I'm just going to sprinkle it. You don't have to sprinkle. You could use a brush like this and you could tap it onto there. Can you see? We'll pop that in the lamp, give it a double cure, and then I'll take off any that's left. But first, again, wipe your sides, because this is the time when you're going to lose the shape as well with glitters. So wipe your sides, keep that shape in. If you've got gloves on, you can even tap it a little bit. Tap it in place, into the lamp. Now when that comes out of the lamp, you can take a brush. I've got Gerald, and I'm just going to... Gerald's got something, I don't know what Oliver's done, but there's something rattling around inside him. And that will have a beautiful sparkly look, but as you can see, it makes that ombre look seamless. Now, you don't have to top coat this now. That glitter's not going anywhere. It's in the top coat. If you wanted to encapsulate it, it would completely change the look, so you wouldn't get that frosted look, which I think is really charming actually. It's really beautiful. So let's get on to the next method. So I've done the same blend again. As you can see, if I don't wipe the sides of this down, it's going to start losing its shape. So I'm going to wipe the sides down. And you will see a difference, because I'm only wiping a little bit, but straight away it starts to come in, especially at the tip there. We'll give that a cure. The blend isn't perfect. It's mediocre, but we'll put it in the lamp, give it a cure, and I'm going to show you a different way. And this way, we are going to actually use a coloured glitter that corresponds with the mix we've made, with the ombre we've made. And I'm going to show you how to kind of not completely cover, but actually just divert the eye. So the technique we're going to use, you will need either a palette or a bit of tin foil even, or a little bit of a plastic lid, something like that, that you are happy to get gel polish on. I've got a palette which was made for me by Just Jo Nail Addict, and I keep telling her she should sell them, but she says she only makes them for fun, and she's very talented. So I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to use a base coat. And the reason I'm going to use base coat is because when it is cured, it'll still have a tacky layer, which means I can top coat. And you don't have to do it this way. You could just press the glitter in, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a glitter swoosh. Again, I'm using a fine to medium glitter. You don't want chunkies. You could use chunkies for this, but I don't know, I just find it more of a pain. So there's one of two ways you could do this. You could cover the whole nail with a bit of base coat and then tap in glitter where you want it and tidy up any bits you don't want. You could do it that way, or you could do it this way. I'm going to put some base coat onto my palette, which even though it doesn't look it, it is clean. I'm going to move that nail out of the way a second. I'm going to take some of this glitter. This is the new glitter mix. It's called Winter Sparkle, and it's got, as you can see, it's quite a fine mix. It's got iridescence, slightly holographics, and some light blues and mid blues in there. This is the glitter mix that comes in the January box, but it's also now available to purchase on its own. And as you can see, it's not a thick, not a chunky mix. So I'm going to sprinkle that onto that base coat, and then I'm just going to take a little dotting tool and mix it all in. Now it will obviously thicken up the base coat, so you need to apply more base coat than you think you're going to need, because essentially you're making a glitter gel. Here we are, look, isn't that beautiful? Okay. Let's just clean that. When you're working with gel, keep everything clean, because the minute it comes into contact with sunlight or UV LED, it will start to cure. So keep everything clean. And I'm going to take probably best to use for this a detailer brush that's slightly on the thicker side. Now I've got quite a few different ones. You could just use a gel application brush, but I think if you use, this is called the Long Fine Liner from Madame Glam, but it's probably one of the thicker ones that I own. In fact, I might have a slightly thicker one over here. No, I don't know if I do. I'm not sure if I do. Yes, I do. I do. This one's got interchangeable heads on it. Okay, so we'll use the slightly thicker one then. We can tidy up with a gel application brush, which makes sense. Make sure that's not contaminated with anything. So I'm going to run my brush around the gel and just kind of grab a bead. This isn't my best brush, so I'm not worried about clogging it. And I'm going to start in the middle of the nail. And I'm going to go up. I do my swooshes back to front, so it's like a back to front S, like that. So just map it out to start off with. Sorry if you can hear Oliver, he's playing upstairs. Okay. So there's my swoosh mapped out, but we kind of want to make it a little bit more spectacular than this, don't we? So I'm going to now make the middle of the swoosh slightly thicker, and that's also going to essentially cover any little mistakes with the ombre. So we'll bring that down and thicken up the center of that swoosh. And we'll take it a little bit thinner at the edge as well. Thin it right out. How beautiful is that glitter? Absolutely gorgeous. Thicken it up a little bit here and then have it thin out. And what you're doing is you're taking the eye away from the area where there's a little fault. So it looks perfect. It looks like it's meant to be there. Doesn't look like there's a problem. You can just take a gel brush in a little bit of isopropyl alcohol to clean the bristles. And then I'll just clean it off on a little pad so it's not flooded. And then I'm just going to tap it in here to thin out this area. Just remove any excess. Oh, here comes Oliver. Tap that down there. And then I'm going to tap it out along the top and just thin that line out a little bit. There we go. Now that's going to go in the lamp and cure. Side note, I'm just cleaning my palette, and how beautiful is that glitter? I'm in love. I kind of want a whole set of it. Now, what I would recommend here, because you've added something to the gel, although it's pretty much flat, there might be slight raised areas here and there, is a double top coat and then a buff, then another top coat. Sounds excessive, but it will give you a better finish. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so I've double top coated, but when I look from the side, I can still see a little bit of undulations, slightly raised areas here and there. So I'm going to place a sponged buffer flat on it and give it a bit of a buff. Now, if you want to go the whole hog and really, really kind of deflect away from the ombre, you could apply a few little crystals inside the glitter swoosh, which always looks really, really beautiful. I'm just going to do the sides as well. Give it all a little, because we've done quite a lot to this nail now. So I might do a little glitter, crystal swoosh on top of the glitter, just to really kind of complement it. And then the ombre is just going to fade into the background and look like it is exactly how it's meant to be. It won't look like an imposter and out of place. It will look beautiful. So that's it after a buff. It's just drying out now. There we go. Now, the crystal mix that goes with this glitter mix is Icicle. And this is our January mix. It's also in the January box, but it's now available to buy separately in bags. If you get it in the January box, it'll be in a stacker, all separated. Foil. This is a really nice mix, actually. So let's have a little gander and see what we've got that will go. We've got some light blues, some light blue ABs, some white opals, and some pastel blues with a kind of a blue iridescent finish, also some crystal clear. We've got some clear pointy backs and also some AB, and these are the large raindrops. Look at those. Beautiful. It's a beautiful mix. Really, really nice. So if I'm applying it on top of the ombre, it's going to be a slightly slower setting because you're applying it onto top coat, even though you've buffed it, but it's still well worth it. And again, I'll start in the middle. I'll just apply the teeny tiniest amount of adhesive and just start kind of like applying crystals that I think will look good. So I'm going to go with one of these beautiful blue iridescents, and then probably slightly darker blue either side. Just going to move them about a little bit because I'm doing it on top of a glossier top coat. It's not quite set up. Ooh. And then I'll just work my way around with little bits here and there. We could go for a little bit of opal. Might be a bit small. Oh no, it's not too bad. Doesn't look too bad, does it? Maybe some clear. Pop that there. A smaller blue. It doesn't really matter what you put there, but as long as they go with the colours you're using, you'll be fine. And as long as you kind of go smaller as you go, it'll all look like it's meant to be. What's the smallest? I've got these little tiny clear ones. These will be good. Just going up here. There we go. Just to kind of help it float, just adds another layer. And if you really want to go even further, then I would recommend some little silver caviar beads in between. You can just keep going, can't you? It's like addictive. But you know, if you really want, you're working on a special set of nails and the one thing that's really grinding your gears is that the ombre is just not working out for you and it's not the way you want it. This is the hack I would 100% recommend. Just chuck glitter on it, chuck crystals on it. And if you do that to a good standard, then everything else will kind of fall into place. There. I'll wait for that to set up, and then I think I will do the caviar beads, you know. I think I will. Now, the trick with caviar beads is I apply them with a little bit of builder gel. So I wait for the crystals to dry, I get builder gel on one of my not so favourite brushes, like this is a slightly thicker brush, so I'm not going to be using it for any detail work. And I'll put tiny blobs like that, and I'll probably do 4 at a time. And then add my caviar beads. If you do them into top coat, they just won't last. You need to get them into a slightly thicker gel, and the bonus here is that the builder gel will also hold your crystals in place. So do those 4, give them a quick flash cure, and then just continue as much as you want to do. As you can see, I've done that and just given it the outer edge, and it's completely changed the look of the nail now. You could use a matte top coat would look really good. I'm going to continue with gloss. Now don't go over the crystals, just go around the edges, and remember not to lose your shape, so you want to kind of pull that brush right in there, not kind of leave it all like this, because you're going to lose your shape straight away. So pull that brush right in there when you're doing your final top coat. So as not to lose that lovely shape. Same as the top bit. You can either come down like this. That glitter's going to come shining through. If I was doing this on a client, I'd be using a detailer brush to go in and around all the crystals. Makes it a lot easier. And you can just see this beautiful sparkle from that glitter coming through. Absolutely gorgeous. And then the ombre itself is just blended away because your eyes are taken to what's on top. So let me just cure this. So there you have it. 2 different ways to solve the same problem. One, quick and easy, pop glitter on top. But your customer might not want that kind of effect. The other one is going a little bit more out there, giving the customer more bling, doing something that corresponds with the colour you've got. And yeah, I think they are both very simple to do and will get you out of a sticky situation, so you don't have to go and redo the nail and start all over again. So I hope that's been a little bit helpful, as well as the little tips on how to keep the shape of your nail and how not to lose those sides. If there's anything else you want me to run through, just keep DMing me or commenting and I'll do my best to help. So I'll see you next time. By the way, I'll put the links to the gels that I've used in this video if you want to check them out. And the glitters and crystals and stuff, that'll all be linked in the description box as well. So I'll see you in my next video. Tally bye!